Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Krotz, communications lead with the National Women's Hockey League. Very excited about the week ahead, and certainly about the next hour, where we're all going to have an opportunity to hear from four competing teams ready to play in the Isobel Cup playoffs this weekend at Warrior Ice Arena. As I just continue to admit a few folks here. I know we're really tight for time under our hour. We've got 15-minute windows devoted to each of our four teams. We've got to do our best to adhere to those timelines. I'm going to offer everybody a chance to ask questions. Please be mindful that if we don't get to your questions, it's going to be simply a matter of schedule, but we're going to try to do our best in that regard. If you'd like to ask a question, I please ask that you raise your hand. Your digital hand in the Zoom icon. I'm going to unmute right now our Toronto 6 participants, head coach Digit Murphy and Shannon Darkangelo. There she is. As we wait for some of the questions to compile. Digit, why don't you tell us, how the Toronto 6 have been preparing for Friday's semifinal and just your anticipation for Boston.
What's up, guys? Paul, it's great to see you. Like, I never see you. I only get emails, so it's awesome to see people. You guys, thanks for being here. I always talk about the press being part of our team, so thank you for being a valuable member of our team. It's so important that you spread the good word about women's sports. We have been preparing for 2 or 3 weeks now with our team on the ice. You're going to see a little bit different Toronto 6. We got a couple players that couldn't make it back because of quarantine, but that's okay. Our motto is flex and flow, and we will do the best with what we have, and we will put on a great show, a good product. Tiny hands, you never know if that's going to come out, could be different. But what we're here for is to put on a great show. We're so grateful to have NBC be our broadcast partner, as well as Twitch in Canada. We'll work on TSN and Sportsnet later, I guess. But yeah, we're ready. We're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. We're ready to have Shannon Darkangelo be the woman of the hour as our captain. And again, thanks for having me. And 15 minutes is not going to be enough. We also do the press conferences at the bubble. We do longer.
Okay. We'll have lots of time for that, but thank you, Digit. Cheyenne, why don't just a few words from you to just again hear your anticipation for the weekend.
Yeah, we're super excited. I mean, I think Digit said it pretty well. We do have a smaller group going into Boston, but we've been practicing, and it's just 2 games, hopefully, and we've been having a lot of fun. So hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling and come together and play a good game against Boston.
Kevin McGran, I've asked you to unmute. If you've got a question, you can go ahead.
Well, for both Digit and Cheyenne, how did you, I'll get right to the point here with the time limitations. How did you feel the team was coming together through the bubble heading into the playoffs? And how did you both feel when it got paused on you right at that moment?
They want to hear from the players. Go ahead, Shai.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, was sort of disappointing in some aspects, right? We hadn't played in a while, and then we got to the bubble and we got to play a bunch of games back to back. So, and especially our team, you kind of saw we built momentum as each game went on, each period, things like that. So we were definitely building, and then for it to come to a stop was, difficult, but obviously we understand the reasons that it had to, and we're just excited to have this opportunity to play again and sort of finish what we started.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for me, it was just we were rocking and rolling. We were primed, and then bam, not there anymore. But we're ready to get that energy and that momentum back. And I'm looking forward to the new party that we're going to throw.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. John Worrow, Associated Press, if you'd like to go ahead.
Yes, hi. I guess it's for Digit. What are the challenges that you faced having to put together a team, knowing that on the other side of it is going to be another 14-day or some self-quarantining issues involved and how did you manage to overcome that?
We picked the best players on the planet to play for the Toronto Six. They were all in. They've sacrificed relentlessly. They practiced outside. It really was something that we started, and that was started last April to assemble this group. 2 of the players just could not get out of work, but the rest of them, we had a couple of holdouts, but once they kind of started to come to practice, they were like, we're in, we got to go finish this. So it really was it's about the players and who we have on this team. It's a special magic. And quite frankly, you know, had they asked us to get other players, I would have been heartbroken because we have to finish with the team that we have, and the 2 kids that aren't coming, they're all part of this. So thank you for asking that question, because these players deserve a lot of credit. So
just quickly, I wrote a story, and then there's been talk of Montreal expansion. Do you have any comment on that?
I don't, you know, and it's funny, my last Twitter comments or whatever, like everything that I was talking about was last April. So people are just like picking up on things that have already been in the press. So, you know, this is something that went on last April. So I don't really have a comment. I just, you know, I'm just here coaching the T6.
Thank you.
And they would never let me leave anyways, my T6, right, Shy? They're like, they would kill me. I would be like mutinized.
We'll go to Katie Goss. Go ahead, Katie.
Thanks, Dad. This one is for Cheyenne. Just can you talk a little bit about, you know, just the camaraderie of your team? I think that was something that really stood out, you know, more than anything, was how much fun you guys were having, and also just what a tight-knit group it seemed like you had already. Just, you know, how much are you looking forward to picking up where you guys left off? And also, you know, what's the reason for that? How have you guys bonded so quickly?
Yeah, no, definitely. We have a great locker room. I mean, leading up to the first bubble, it was a little bit weird with all the different rules and different things, like only being able to skate with 10 people at a time, not really being in a locker room, sort of only being with half the team at times. So then getting into Lake Placid and kind of getting to know more of the girls. I mean, I've been able to play with a decent amount of them prior. So we kind of all know each other from, you know, different places and times in hockey and things like that. So it definitely makes it easier. But then, you know, with Digit, she loves to spice things up, I would say, in practice, get people out of their comfort zone. And her big thing is just to be you. And I really do think she brings out the best in people and our teammates and things like that. So as you can see with the tiny hands, the Taylor Swift dancing and the different things, we kind of kept it light and got everybody going. So it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back to that.
Thanks, Katie. Erica Ayala, you'd like to go ahead?
Thank you much. Hello, Digit and Cheyenne. This question actually will be for you, Shy. You've had the opportunity to be an inaugural member of the NWHL and now of the Toronto Six. I'm just wondering if you could compare the experiences from your point of view in that first season and now season 6, the first season with the Toronto Six.
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience. I guess I wouldn't have thought about this coming along, the Toronto Six, you know, prior. So it kind of came out of nowhere, but very similar, super honored to be a part of it. Obviously, my first year out of college playing in the WHL was kind of a wow moment as well. There wasn't really, no female hockey players were getting paid aside from if we were in the national program. So for that to become a reality that year was huge. And then later down in my career, like I've got to play in different leagues and things. And for this, to have this opportunity to play for the Toronto Six has been an awesome experience. And I'm happy that I jumped onto it.
Thanks, Shad. Good to see you back. Digit, quickly for you, you alluded to some of the things that are a little bit different for the T6 team going into Lake Placid and then obviously the restart. What things, if anything, have you and the coaching staff changed up to be better prepared for some of the limitations that a single site season will bring?
Well, we only have to win one game. So we're just really preparing for Boston right now. And some of the things that we do is what we always do, is have fun all the time in practice. We play a lot of games. We just keep it light and loose. And whenever the kids get to be Krabby Patties, we just like put a smile on their face, like turn that frown upside down, you know, because they're women, right? And we're used to being like in a family atmosphere. So we treat it all like family. I give a lot of credit to my coaching staff, like Spiros and Lisa have been awesome. I mean, where else do you get a head coach of the Brampton Beast, a head coach of Ryerson University, and a head coach like, I mean, I guess like me to do it all together? And honestly, these players are being treated like royalty. They're, in my opinion, like they're prepared video wise, just skills wise. I mean, I would really love to play for the T6, but I can't. I'm a coach. Maybe I come back. I'll make a comeback.
We'll go to Dan Rice.
Thanks. Dan Rice from the Hockey Writers. My question for Cheyenne, your team played Boston already. Do you draw anything from that experience? Does it mean anything that you beat them? How much video do you watch? Those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have to respect our opponent. We could take some things from the last game, but I mean, no, it doesn't matter that we beat them in the past. It's a new day, new game ahead of us. It's one game, so it's coming prepared and focusing on our strengths, I think, to be ready. Like Digit mentioned, we have Spiros doing video, and Lisa, giving input on what she sees as well. So all of that together, the collaboration to prepare us has been great, and I'm excited to get on the ice.
And I guess for Digit, can you tell us any lineup, who's not going to be with you, or you're not revealing that?
I'll reveal it. No secrets here. Taylor, Tatum and Mac can't come because they have to work, but they're a big part of this. They got us here. We will finish with what we started with, and the players are all playing for each other and pulling for them. And I'm sure when they'll be back watching us that they will be happy, whatever we do. And when you look at Boston, they're an unbelievable team. We have a tremendous amount of respect. They have experience. I mean, I look at, we're the number 1 seed, but we're probably the underdog going in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Holly Morrison, you're up next.
Thank you, Paul. So this one's for both Digit and Cheyenne. So I'm just wondering, can you sort of tell us a little bit about what it's been like practicing, just because in Ontario we've been in lockdown and then we've been out of lockdown. How have you been able to get on the ice, and has the whole team really been able to skate together since Lake Placid?
Yeah, we have a exemption up here. I think I talked to you about this before, where we have the pro exemption, which is awesome. Like the Canada, like the where are we? North York? I don't even know. Like I live in Toronto. I don't even know the areas, but they're like separated by these health areas, and Paramount did a great job to get us the status, because that's where we have to practice. We couldn't practice in Toronto. We had to practice outside of Toronto, so we had to get special pro exemption. And now we get to practice together. I mean, it really was tough. I don't know about you, Shai, but like having to practice with the curtain down the middle and the 10 people on the ice was driving me crazy. But that's kind of how we're doing it now. It's normal. We feel good, and we're just gonna finish what we started, hopefully, and have a little hashtag unfinished business. Let's start one. And Holly, by the way, thanks for always supporting us.
No problem.
Yeah, I guess I'll just going off what Digit said. We have been able to practice as a team, and it's been great. I mean, especially with everything that's going on. It's something to look forward to us to get to the rink and skate as a team and be there with everybody. Prior to Lake Placid, we were split into 2 teams, and it was kind of, or like 2 groups, I guess you could say. We'd be an hour back to back, switching who's on the ice, or like she said, with the curtain down the ice. So kind of different, but you have to flex and flow. And it was kind of like summer training, just pushed into season is how I would describe that, doing skills and small ice stuff. But now, we've been able to skate as a full team and practice systems and do different things like that. So it's been good.
We got time for one more. I'll go to Bob Winter.
Thank you, Bob Winter from Rink Stories. Apparently there was a bit of a kerfuffle in deciding who was going to be the number 1 seed, given that you and Minnesota played a different number of games and split the head-to-head meetings. What did the league tell you about how tiebreakers were applied and why they placed you as the number 1 seed?
I don't know about that, but I know that we won the most games, so I think we were number 1. I don't even think there would be a kerfuffle or whatever you said. So no, nothing. Just we're number 1 because we won the most games.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks very much, Digit and Shai. your 15 minutes is up. I know it went really quickly, and appreciate everybody's questions. I know we didn't get to all of them, but we're going to transition into the Boston Pride now. So we'll say goodbye to Digit and to Cheyenne. And look
Call me
forward.
directly. You guys can
Look
call
forward-
me anytime. Call me. See you
Happy
guys.
to coordinate on
Thank
Digit's
you.
behalf. Thanks, Digit. If anybody has any follow-ups for Toronto, you can send me an email and we can try to coordinate offline. I'll ask at this time if you still have your hand raised in the Zoom platform and you do not have a question, to lower it. And I'll start building the queue for our next set of questions as we welcome in Boston Pride coach Paul Mara and Christina Putinga. Welcome, Paul and Christina. We've got a full media group here ready to ask questions and learn more about what the Pride have been doing in anticipation of the weekend's games. And just as we start to build some of those questions, Paul, perhaps you can bring us up to speed on the team's preparations and what you look forward to as you get ready to face Toronto. Well, I think, sorry about that, Paul. I think I have to unmute you there. And I'll do the same for Christina. Go ahead, Paul, when you're ready.
All right. I know our GM and players love to mute me all the time if they could. Yeah, I think everyone's excited on our end for the opportunity to play Toronto. Obviously they were one of the best teams up in Lake Placid, and we have our hands full playing them. They're a fantastic team, well coached, well balanced team, and I think we're looking forward to the challenge of playing the #1 seed.
Great, we'll take questions now. Why don't we go to Mike Murphy? I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Hi, Christina. We saw how the team, kind of rallied around when Demps got injured, and there's all these storylines pointing to unfinished business. Demps is healthy or healthier now, and you have, kind of quote unquote home ice advantage, all these things. And, when we talked to you guys in the bubble, it was all about, we have unfinished business. Is that just the same messaging here? One game at a time, play, Boston Pride hockey and come away with a couple wins and lift the cup?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone's ready to go and everyone's excited and pumped, and we just want to win. And I know we can, and we know we can. So yeah, definitely unfinished business, but we know it's our game, and same for Saturday's game as well.
And Coach, is there any comfort, or does it help maybe to get away from the rocky start and just like the worst puck luck in the world that happened in Lake Placid with the team, and putting that behind you, getting on home ice and getting back to the hockey you guys know you can play?
Yeah, I think, we forgot what happened with the first 5 games up in Lake Placid. We're focused on Friday night. I think our team inside our locker room knows what we're capable of doing. And, we're just really excited. Be playing back in Boston is what it is, but, we're playing the #1 seed in this tournament, and we're looking forward to that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mike. Justin Levine, I'm going to unmute your mic and you can go ahead.
Hi, Paul and Christina, thank you so much for doing this. This question is for Paul Mara. Paul, can you talk a little bit about how your team has rebounded from the post-Lake Placid COVID outbreak, and what, getting back on the ice as a full team has been like with all your players getting back to full health and, now getting prepared for a championship weekend that I'm sure at some point some thought may never happen, and now we know is happening this weekend?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, coming home from Lake Placid, our first thing was to get and safe. And, we did that. I think we stayed up in Lake Placid for, an extra 9 or 10 days to quarantine per protocol. And, we came home and, I think we all recovered healthy. I think we took 3 weeks off, and then we slowly got back into things. Each of our players had follow-up appointments with our doctors and did the necessary things to make sure it was safe to get back on the ice. And, for the first 2 weeks, we took it easy, just getting our legs back under us. But for the past, 2.5, 3 weeks, we've been really hammering home the things we need to do to, to beat Toronto.
And Christina, for you, facing the Toronto Six going into this now, the number 1 seed, what is it that you feel you and your teammates have to, I guess, really buckle down on in order to be the number 1 seed in this really important single elimination game?
Yeah, I think we just need to come out strong right from the start. I know it took us a while to get our legs going, a couple games, so I think we just got to come out strong right from the drop of the puck and make sure we're forechecking hard, back checking hard, doing little things, and everything else will follow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. Kevin McGran, I'm going to, I think you already unmuted? You can go ahead, Kevin. Kevin, did you have a question? Okay, we'll move along. Eric McHugh, I'll unmute your mic.
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about Kaylee Fratkin, what she's meant to the team and how much you're counting on her this weekend.
You know, Kaylee's a huge part of our team success for the past, 3 years. She's an unbelievable defenseman. Obviously with her accolades, she won last year, best defenseman in the league, and well deserved. And this year she carried over how it ended last year. She's been fantastic for us, both offensively and defensively. And her intensity, her leadership is matched by no one out there. I know if I was playing, I wouldn't want to play against her. She's tough, she's mean, she's fast, she plays hard, she plays the game the way it should be played. And it's a pleasure to watch, and it's a pleasure to coach, and pumped to have her on our team and not having played against her.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. I'll unmute Dan Rice. You can go ahead, Dan.
Thanks. Dan Rice from the Hockey Writers. Coach, what do you take from the first game against Toronto, if anything? Have you gone back and watched a video of it? Have you watched video of their other games?
Yeah, yep. We've watched video. It's I'm not going to give away our secrets, nor will Christina, because she's watched a lot of video as well. She's from Toronto, so she knows what we're dealing with. But they're a great team. They're number 1 seed for the reason, and we're looking forward to the challenge. But I think our team's up for it.
And for Christina, I'm just curious. I haven't really got a chance to ask you this. You're 2 years or a year and a half kind of into being a part of this league. What has the experience been like? And in addition, what has the experience been like playing alongside players like McKenna and Jillian, and the chemistry that y'all three have found has really been fun to watch?
Yeah, it's definitely been an incredible experience, to say the least. Exceed expectations every year, and super pumped with, getting the opportunity to play with, like you said, 2 incredible athletes and 2 of the top players in our league and in the world, frankly. And, it's awesome. And I learned so much from them, and I've grown my game tremendously, just even from, last year to this year. And then especially from Providence to now, learning different things and viewing a game differently, and just picking up definitely little things from them and even other people on my team throughout these 2 years. So yeah, no, I'm definitely blessed and got a great opportunity here playing here.
During your final year in college, was the NWHL something you aspired for, wanted to be a part of?
Yeah, I definitely, wasn't ready to stop playing. So I was pretty pumped when, I reached out to Matt and I reached out to Paul, and, I was pretty adamant about playing, and I was pumped to hear back from Paul. So yeah, no, it was definitely something I was trying to get into. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I'm going to unmute Bob Winter. You go ahead, Bob.
Hi, Bob Winter from Rink Stories. This question's for Christina. I want to know, who is your team DJ, and do you guys have a win song?
Our team DJ, I'd say practices, Breezy and Brianna Mostel, and then for games, Tor Sullivan. yes, we do have a win song, and I'm totally blanking on it now, but I think it's King of the Jungle. It's from Lion King, so one of those. We play that after the game.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. And unmute Katie Gauss from our Twitch broadcast team.
Hey guys, this question's for Coach. Coach, we saw during the the first part of this season that you had a lot of rookies on your team that were stepping up, and I think we even asked you at one point, and you said you didn't even consider them rookies because of just the way the team operates. But just how much are you going to be looking towards that younger group again to really make an impact like they were during this past few games?
Yeah, I think we rely on all the players on our team, but the rookies are mixed in there. Obviously, one of our top lines with Christina, Dempson, and McKenna, that won't be changed. But we have a rookie on the other three lines, and rookies on the defensive side of the things too. But we expect great things of them. They've experienced the NWHL now for lucky for us, we've had 7 games up there, which I think is advantage to us and to those players. And we're just excited to watch them play. I think all of them, Sammy, Magera, Taylor Winchkowski, Teresa Vanasoa, Taylor Turnquist on the back end. And, they've all contributed in the ways that we expected them to. And we expect that to continue on a Friday and Saturday.
And just to follow up, for goaltending, Lavisa Solander just a great job during the time she's still at the top of the NWHL in all of the stats categories. So, are you looking to lean on her again, in this next game?
Yeah, we haven't decided yet on what goaltender we're going to go with. They've both been fantastic in practice so far. So, we have 2 more practices before the game on Friday. So we'll wait till Friday to decide who we're going to put in net. But we have confidence in both of them. They can both, make the saves we want them to.
Thank you, Coach.
We do have time for a couple of more questions. If you'd like to raise your hand, please do so with the digital icon. I see a couple hands still. Just wondering if there are follow-ups. Eric, do you have another question? So we can go ahead.
Sure. This is for Christina. I was just wondering what your emotions were like when the bubble in Lake Placid burst, and did you think that you were going to get to complete the season?
Yeah, I think we were all pretty excited about, getting a chance to play in the bubble, and then hearing the news that we weren't going to be able to play those last 2 games. I think we were definitely all a little heartbroken there. But, now we get to seize the opportunity here, and I think we're all just as excited as we were before, and definitely have the same energy as we were or had going in previously. So, that hasn't changed, and we're all really excited to get, a second shot at it. So.
Thank you.
Holly Morrison, you can go ahead with the question.
Hello, just for Paul or Christina. So just talking to Digit Murphy and Shannon Darkangelo from T6, Digit sort of said that they kind of see themselves as underdogs going into this matchup. What would you say to that?
They're the number 1 seed. I don't see how they're being underdogs. They're obviously the best team up in Lake Placid. So, number 1 seeds usually aren't underdogs. But if they want to view that way, then that's fine.
Any follow-up, Holly?
Nope, thank you very much.
Justin Levine, you can go ahead.
Hi, Paul. Thank you again. This question is actually for Christina. Christina, you're from Toronto, so just curious, what does it mean to you to be able to play against the team from your home city? Was that something that ever just, I don't know, kind of hit your mind as, this is kind of really neat?
Yeah, I think definitely always has been in the back of my head, and I was pretty pumped for them and the league too, and we expanded there, and I think it's pretty cool. And initially was excited to get to have family come out to Toronto. So, but yeah, no, definitely is pretty interesting. I know kind of like 90% of the roster, so it's definitely fun, and it was a lot of fun playing them the first time. But yeah, definitely pretty special.
And with reports of another Canadian team in Montreal supposedly coming about, is there additional excitement added for season 7?
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be pretty cool. And I think, just from what I've seen, I heard that was Montreal. So it's a pretty good city and it'd be a lot of fun to go there and play.
I just see Jack join us there in the call. What's up, Jack? Can't hear me.
I guess I've got to unmute Jack. And with that, I mean, we're all finished with questions and your time today, Paul and Christina. Thank you very much for that this afternoon, and we look forward to watching you play at Warrior Ice Arena on Friday. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Just making sure we've got Jack and Winny. Is that you?
Yep.
I didn't recognize it when the name said Justin, so I apologize to be late to get to you. But welcome to our media availability today, and thank you so much for your time. Obviously, Minnesota Whitecaps coach Jack Brodt and player Winny Brodt-Brown.
Jack Brodt.
Pardon me, Jack Brodt. We'll now take as we build our Q question. Jack, perhaps you can get us started just by sharing a few words about what the team is doing to prepare for your semifinal against Connecticut.
We've been practicing regularly for the last 2 to 3 weeks. We've got a practice tonight at 6:30. We've got a practice tomorrow night at 6:30. Our players, we've told them to try and keep in shape on their own also, doing their own individual workouts and so forth. So we feel relatively confident everybody at this point is pretty healthy and ready to go.
Winny, I'll give you an opportunity to share your thoughts as you prepare for return to play. Be a big trip across the country, but I'm sure the team's excited and ready to go.
Yeah, I think like what my dad was saying is we've been doing our stuff, off ice and on ice. And I think when we get there, the adrenaline's going to be so high that practicing, as many times as we have, it's not going to be relevant anyways. Because I think the teams that come out with the most energy and just, being tenacious is gonna be a big advantage.
Thank you. We'll now take questions. I see some hands, so I'll start by asking Rachel Borzy to unmute and go ahead.
Hi guys, this is a question I think both of you could answer. I'm curious to know, with Sydney Baldwin not on the playoff roster, but Amanda Boulier coming in, how does that change things for you both on the blue line and the power play?
Well, it does change our power play substantially. You can't get around it. Sydney is still our very best player on our team all around. So it's going to be an issue, but what are you going to do? You got what you got, and we'll probably have, as of right now, we're going to probably have Boulier up there on one of the power plays, and we have another defender running one of the other power plays. But we're certainly not going to be able to replace Sid, that's for sure. But we'll do the best we can, Rachel.
Jack, was it hard for you to put your roster together? Did you have much trouble in getting players to be able to come, be able to get time off of work and make it?
No, so far it's been pretty good, except for we lost availability of Stauber too. We lost 2 of our top 4 defensemen, so we're not too happy about that. But her team is going to the state tournaments, so as a result of that, she can't make it. But other than that, we're in pretty good shape going forward.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. I'll ask Casey Bryant to unmute and go ahead.
Hey, folks, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Casey Bryant from the Ice Garden. Question for the both of you. Does facing the Connecticut Whale for the first time, going all the way back to the bubble right to now, does that add an extra layer of unpredictability on top of the 2-month layover between then and now?
Yeah, and I think it's actually more exciting that way, not knowing your opponent, because you just go out there and you just play and you don't overthink it. And, we don't really know what to expect and they don't know what to expect. And I think as a player, it's kind of fun playing an opponent you haven't played before. And, everyone's going to be playing their best and giving it, and it's going to be an intense game. So, like I said before, it's going to be whoever's ready to play at the drop of the puck.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Casey. I will unmute Maggie Benoni. You may proceed with your question.
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you for being here. What does it mean to you guys to have NBC be broadcasting the playoffs this weekend and have women's hockey be on this new national stage?
I think it's pretty incredible to have this opportunity, just because, when I started playing hockey when I was 4 with all the boys, and then growing up playing, till I was 17 years old, I never thought that, playing on national TV would ever even be a possibility. And, I was lucky enough to wait it out at my age and be able to, be one of the first games to be able to do that and have that opportunity.
And as a follow-up, Jack, what has this season, with the original bubble and now the restart, how has this impacted how you approach coaching and how you see the role of a coach?
Well, the bubble wasn't fun. I just soon put a stick in my eye as go to that bubble again. I tell you that. This is a lot easier type of situation. We're flying in on Thursday night at midnight. We'll get there about 1:30 in the morning. We'll practice at 11. We'll play the game. If we win, we'll play Saturday. If we lose, we're going to try and get out of there about 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, fly back to the Twin Cities. So we'll see. We'll either be flying Saturday morning or we'll be playing Saturday night.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. I'll unmute Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey there, Alex Hazzy with NBC Sports and On Her Turf. I was wondering if you could provide any information on whether or not the, delay in terms of the semifinals and finals impacted at all, like distribution of salary money or anything like that.
As far as distribution of salary money, I'm not aware of that. All the players were paid their full salaries through the bubble. And then there is a stipend that's being paid to the players for the game that will be played this weekend. And so as far as the salary is concerned, everybody is virtually paid off and it's just receiving a stipend at this point, Alex.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Go back to Mike Murphy, Ice Garden. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Winny. Thanks for your time. It's nice to talk to you. Winny, one of the players watching the Whitecaps closely, what really, underestimated before we got to see her play in Lake Placid was Maddie Rowe, who was really great on that top pair with Sydney Baldwin. I mean, looking at all the block shots, all the ice time she had, can you talk about what Maddie does so well in her own zone and how valuable she is to that blue line?
Yeah, well, she's got a lot of energy when she plays, and she's got, really good team camaraderie on the bench too. So when she goes out and plays, she gives everything she has. And I think she's just one of those, I mean, she's obviously got the size, she's got the reach, so getting around her is pretty tough. But like I said, she just is always very positive, brings a lot of energy to our team and gets, you know, everyone around her pumped up. And you can tell how she plays on the ice. It's the same way.
And coach, do you have an idea of what to do with that top pair with Sid not there? Is you're probably going to be Boo and Maddie Rowe, or are you still figuring that out, or something you're not going to disclose just yet?
We've got to figure it out, but we're not disclosing it yet. You're right. You got it.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, coach. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you, Mike. Dan Rice, you can go ahead.
Thanks. Dan Rice from the Hockey Writers. First for Coach, what was it like to see your team score a bunch of goals in Lake Placid without Allie Thunstrom and really Jonna Curtis providing any offense?
Yeah, it was kind of surprising that we got scoring from pretty much all over. So, and Jonna and Allie are our two top goal scorers, normally game in and game out, you know, but they were shut down as far as scoring goals, but their presence on the ice and the hard work that they do in the defensive zone is very important. If we get into a run and gun game, we're probably going to lose that game. We've had more success where we've kept the scores down rather than elevating the scores. So if we don't play good team defense, we're not going past the first game, so it won't matter.
Yeah, and I would like to add on that. So in the bubble, we did have a lot of scoring from other players. So going into this weekend, I think those players are feeling pretty good. And now if we can get Allie and Jonna and Pizon's line going, we'll be in good shape.
And a quick follow-up for either one of you that wants to answer. Looking back at the history, you guys have never lost to Connecticut. How much of a factor does that play, if at all, in this game?
Zero,
yeah.
Zero.
I would say it's a whole new season, right?
Yeah.
So,
They're not the same team as they were last year, number one, or the year before. Number two, I never pronounce her name correctly, Samaskovich or Samskovich, whatever.
Samskevich.
You know, yeah, Samskevich, yeah, Samskevich. She's going to be on their roster, and she's a top line player. And so they're adding a top line player. We're decreasing our roster by two top line players. So we'll have to see what happens. Nobody knows at this point.
That's why they play the games. Thank you all.
That's right.
thank you.
Time for a couple more. Katie, you can go ahead.
Hi guys, yeah, this question is for really either of you. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Levier, just how much she meant to you throughout all the games in the bubble, just putting up great numbers, setting records, and how much you anticipate, continuing to rely on her at the back end.
Yeah, no, I would say Amanda, I mean, she's our MVP, in my opinion, as a player. With her back there, we're pretty confident. We just got to, help her out as much as we can and let her do her thing. And she's a competitor, and every game, I call her a gamer, right? Practicing with her, she's like fun, but you put her in a game and it's a whole new Amanda Levier. So it's fun to watch.
Thanks, guys.
Bob Winter, you can go ahead.
Hi, Bob Winter, Rink Stories. This is for Coach Brodt. It was a little confusing for some fans as far as how the seedings were determined for this weekend. And I wondered if you got any information from the league, given the different number of games that you and Toronto played, as well as, splitting the head-to-head matchups. What did they tell you about how the tiebreakers were applied? And are you happy to be the number 2 seed?
I wouldn't say I'm happy to be the number 2 seed. I went through it with the league as my interpretation of what they had sent us and so forth. It is what it is. They told us what the seeds were, and we're living with it. Whatever it is, it is. So the league knows where I stand on this issue, but we'll just wait and see.
Very good. Thank you.
You bet.
Last one, guys. Take it away, Justin.
Hi guys, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate you guys taking the time today. My question is with regards to the possibility of playing on Saturday night in the Isobel Cup final and having that potentially be against the Toronto Six if both of you happen to reach that point. Because the last time we saw you two face off, there was obviously a hefty competition that Toronto took the lead, then Minnesota comes back to win it in what was a really fantastic game. So, what would the Whitecaps have to do in that case as a full team effort in order to trump Toronto? And what do you think is Minnesota's greatest challenge in facing the number 1 seed?
Yeah, I think, both teams are, all the teams, anyone can win this tournament. But if we match up with Toronto, they're pretty physical. And so we just got to match their physicalness. And I think our team is, we've got a lot of veterans on our team, so we know how to play that style. And I think it's just going to be a back and forth battle, and it's going to come down to a lot of the goaltending, as most games do. And I think, no matter who we play, if it's Toronto, Boston, it's just going to be, there's going to be a lot of emotions on the rink for both.
Jack, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I know one thing. We don't want to get into a run and gun game with Toronto. That's not our style. We played pretty sloppy against them. I thought we won the game in a shootout. We lost to them in the last 23 seconds of the second game. So we're pretty evenly matched with Toronto. I'd rather see a more controlled type of game than just trying to fly up and down the ice and try and figure things out from that standpoint.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Jack and Winny, Brodt, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and we really look forward to watching the Whitecaps on Friday night against Connecticut. So appreciate your.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'll now welcome in from the Connecticut Whale, Laura Brennan. I'm just going to see is 1 second. I guess I will unmute Laura. Hi, Laura, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is Shannon's not with you, is she?
Not in the same location. I don't know if
Okay.
I see her.
Okay, I'll follow up with her, but as we welcome you in, certainly looking forward to watching the Whale take on the Whitecaps. Maybe you can, as we compile some questions, maybe just share what the team has been doing to prepare for Friday's semifinal.
All right, so we've been back on the ice, I know, for 3-4 weeks, maybe at this point, practicing 3 times a week. Really going over our game plan, analyzing, the games from Lake Placid, really using video analytics, and a lot of stuff that happened, at the tournament and getting our team ready, prepped to go. Really focusing on the game on Friday and doing everything we can do to prepare physically and mentally.
Thank you,
Yep.
Laura. We'll welcome questions now. Just switching my screen. Erica, you can go ahead. I will unmute your line.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. We talked at the beginning of the Lake Placid season that this might, I think you coined this, be the year of the Whale. I'm wondering what you saw that you liked in Lake Placid and how you think adding Melissa Samaskevich in particular will help kind of keep that momentum going for Connecticut.
Thank you, Erica. Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't coin Year of the Whale, but that's something that our team has been saying since we gathered together in September. We felt like this was a group of players that really had something special, and we could make a statement this year on how the Whale has evolved and changed and really grown into a contender. And that's something that we believe that we really showed in Lake Placid. We came in there ready to go, ready to battle. We talked a lot about things, adversity that we may see while we prepared for the original bubble. Obviously that didn't all pan out how we expected, but we were very happy with the games that we put together there and the resiliency that our team showed. We look to continue that this weekend.
And can you maybe just talk about what the process was to kind of take in the team opting to leave Lake Placid and then getting another opportunity to make a run for the Cup? I mean, what were some of those conversations like, and kind of where's the team sitting with everything right now?
So the team really banded together, during Lake Placid, with the COVID going around, we really wanted to play things safe with our team and make sure that we were, number one, taking care of each other, but number two, taking care of the other teams and people at the tournament. And, we came to a decision that that was what was best for our team. And we didn't know what would actually happen after that. But we are very grateful for the opportunity to continue to be competing, because we did put ourselves in that position through our gameplay, and we're just happy to have the opportunity to continue with that.
You follow up, Erica? You okay? Oh, okay. I'm going to unmute the line of Maggie. You can go ahead.
Coach, thank you for joining us today. I was just kind of going off of that, what are your thoughts going into this weekend and this new kind of somewhat bubble-like environment with new protocols, more intense testing and stuff like that? What are your thoughts compared to what was in the original bubble?
Well, I think now everyone, knows what can happen if, protocols aren't strictly enforced. And so everyone will do, the best of their ability, knowing, how easily it does spread in a hockey environment. And I believe that, everyone that is coming to the new bubble environment knows what's at stake here. So everyone will do their best to make sure it stays out and we're able to play the last two games of the season.
And kind of as a quick follow-up, you've been talking to other teams. Have you had any players opt out of this return?
Yes, we have had a couple players opt out.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Maggie. Casey, you can go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Casey Bryant from the Ice Garden. We heard Coach Brodt a bit earlier say that he didn't want to get into a run and gun matchup with the Connecticut Whale. What kind of game do you think the coaching staff would like to see out of the Whale against the Whitecaps?
Thank you, Casey. We want to get after them early. We know that they're a team that likes to use their speed and really stretch the neutral zone. So we're looking to try to make them play a little more defense than they're used to and play a physical game against them.
How do you feel that Samoskevich factors into changing your offensive scheme, if at all?
She's not super tall, but she is a very powerful forward, very smart player with a lot of big game experience. So we're looking for her to bring that to our team. And, she's great on offense as well as defense and really hustles everywhere on the ice.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Casey. Heather Rule, you can go ahead.
Hi. So I was just wondering, Heather with Minnesota Hockey Magazine. I was just wondering what it will take, how you guys have been preparing to face, the goaltending with the Whitecaps. Winny talked about Lev being, their MVP, and she always seems to come up with solid games. How are you guys prepared to, score some goals and against one of the top goaltenders?
Thanks. Thank you for that question. I'm a goalie myself, so that's something I've been watching Lev for, years in the league, so I have a pretty good idea of, areas that we can try to score on her and ways to make that happen. But with any great goalie, the keys to getting pucks past them is to take away their eyesight and really try to make them move laterally. If a goalie can't see the puck, it's really hard for them to stop it. So we're going to do as much as we can to take away her eyesight, make her move, and not just throw pucks at her, but really make her compete and battle in the net to make saves.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stand by, everyone. I've got Shannon Doyle joining here. Just a moment. I will welcome her in. And hi, Shannon. I'm going to unmute your mic. Thank you for joining and making time for us today. Shannon, we've been hearing from your coach, Laura Brennan, and just as we kind of compile a few questions for you, I maybe get things started and just ask you to share, how the team's been preparing for Friday's semifinal and just your thoughts ahead of the Isobel Cup playoffs.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I apologize for that. In terms of our team's prep, we've been working really hard both on and off the ice to kind of ensure that we're not only physically ready for the game, but also mentally. It's a really tough and unusual circumstance to have to play a semifinal game after not playing a game for such a long period of time. So we've been trying to skate as frequently as we can, but also having a lot of team meetings to go over film and to go over kind of situational things that could happen in the game that we haven't had to mentally deal with for a little bit, since we're not playing a regular season and nothing's really as regular as it should be this year. So I guess it just comes with the course.
Thank you, Shannon. Continue on with our questions. Mike Murphy, go ahead.
Hey, Shannon. I feel like a lot of attention's been focused on some of the newer additions to the team, but I feel like there's a lot to be said about like the Whales' character and particularly how well you're playing in the defensive zone and the neutral zone with some of the veteran defensive forwards and Elena and Taylor and Hannah on the blue line as well as yourself. Can you talk about the Whales' kind of defense first mentality and how that's adapted to having a couple more forwards who can join in on the attack?
Yeah, it's hi Mike, and that's a great question. So just thinking about last year and this year, I really think of both seasons kind of intertwined, as that was the first year we had Colton and Laura together, and a lot of our players from last year are returning from that squad. I think last year we really kind of bought into the culture that we have a certain type of style that we want to play with that all the other teams can't, and that's being the hardest team to play against. And that starts in our defensive zone. So we try to be really gritty. We make body contact as much as we can. And we try to frustrate some players that traditionally don't like to be forced into corner battles with us or be rubbed out when they enter a zone. Now that we have a few more wonderful rookies that kind of add some offensive flair to our game and bolster our lineup from last year a little bit. When we move into transition, it's a lot more difficult for the other teams to kind of deal with us. Normally we went up, if you look at film from last year, and it would be maybe one or two of us, and then we'd be changing or there'd be a disconnect in the neutral zone. This year and the tail end of last year, we worked really hard to ensure that all five of us are up the ice. So we're providing those extra layers. We have some girls that can really shoot the puck, and that's a threat on an initial zone entry. But now we also have that secondary layer and that third layer coming in. So really working hard to not rely on our rookies like Friesen or Samo. Unfortunately, Weber's out, but Wolfie as a veteran, but just not relying on them to score us goals, but also providing kind of that support up the ice that they need. And to ensure that we're always a threat moving up.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Dan, you can go ahead.
Thanks. Dan Rice from the Hockey Writers. First question for Coach. You mentioned some players won't be with you. Can you reveal that to us, or are you keeping that close to the vest?
I'm going to keep that close to the vest for the time being.
Fair enough. And lastly, for either one of you or both of you, if you want to answer, you've both been with the league, the team for a really long time. What does it mean to have this game on NBCSN and possibly another game the next night as a reward maybe for all the hard work that you've put in over the years with this league and with this team?
I'll jump on that first. So for me, it's just an amazing opportunity to showcase women's hockey. When I came out of college myself, there wasn't a professional league to play in. You could play, overseas. The CWHL did exist, but they weren't letting too many non-Canadian players in. So there wasn't a viable option for American players to play. So to see this league grow from season 1 to now and have this national platform is something that's truly special, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
I guess I'll follow up, really echoing a lot of Laura's thoughts. Also happy belated birthday, Dan. That it really just seems to be a wonderful kind of, for me personally, a bookend to what I've been working towards and what I believe the league was capable of since season 1, which was being the platform that so many of the girls that I coach and teach in the classroom can finally see it and really think that that's something that they can achieve, because it is. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful kind of, I guess, product of all the hard work that a lot of people put in since day 1. So it's really great opportunity for us, but kind of one of those moments where you're like, we should have had it last year. We should have had it the year before. So kind of one of those ones you felt it's a little bit overdue, but we're incredibly excited to have it.
Just a quick follow-up for you, Shannon. The younger players on the team, they obviously were in college when you started this league. Did you talk to them? Did they talk to you about that?
We don't really talk about how much older I am, so they're kind. But we do kind of razz them a bit when they first join the team in the fall and kind of just make those knocks about college and how we're like grizzled vets and they're all rookies and got to kind of come back into that role since they were just seniors somewhere and in big leadership positions, and now they're rookies on a team with some much older girls that have been around the block. So it's a wonderful balance though to kind of have girls that, even though they're rookies, wonderful leaders and talented players that are capable from day 1, which is something that is not traditional from a freshman standpoint in college. You're not ready for a leadership role or oftentimes ready to be in a starting lineup from day 1 in college. So it's a really fun mix.
Thank you, Laura. Shannon Darkangelo.
Thanks, Dan. We've just got a few more questions. I know we're just running out of time here, but let's go to Casey.
Hi there, Shannon. A quick question for you. As from a player's perspective, does playing an opponent that you haven't played before add to the element of randomness in this particular game, especially being removed 2 months from having played at all?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I would challenge you, perhaps as an English major, and change the word from randomness to confidence for us. Sometimes it's really difficult to play a team, especially our last game when we were a little bit depleted, and know that maybe it was a really challenging game or you lost to them, and come into a game cold with that experience mentally. So since we haven't played them, but we got to watch them play and we're confident in ourselves, I think it's exciting, but we have an abundance of confidence in ourselves, just knowing what we have, despite not playing a game for a while.
Finally, on an individual note, because you have said before that this would be your final season in the NWHL, has the unconventional nature of this season given any second thought in your mind, or is this in fact the final go?
It's been a really, it's been a roller coaster of a season, one that I was not predicting to be my last, for sure. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I won't say that. Fortunately for me, I have the opportunity to start a girls' high school prep program in Greenwich now, and I really hate missing any of their games, and I would either be missing theirs or the Whales on weekends, and I'm someone who does everything 100%. So for me to have to miss one or the other, it seems like this is the last go around for me. I mean, I've been blessed to play here for 6 years and it's been wonderful. I've really no regrets, but I'm really hoping that we can finish the year with 2 wins so I can go out on a high note.
Terrific. Thank you, Shannon.
Alex, you can go ahead.
Hey, Alex Hazzy with NBC Sports and On Her Turf. And Coach, a question for you. So going back in time a little bit to those last 48, 72-ish hours in Lake Placid, I think it was on Monday night that, you know, the news came that Connecticut was withdrawing from the tournament, but then it was a whole, I think 2 days later that there was a statement issued. And I was wondering if you could just kind of walk us through what those final days were like, what information you had, and how it was kind of communicated to you.
Yes, so thank you for the question. I personally was not in Lake Placid. I wasn't able to get away from my full-time job to be there with the team. But I was, you know, with the team on all the Zoom calls and planning and things like that. So I would say the biggest thing would be, you know, the lack of information that we really had at the time. So, you know, we were doing rapid tests with our team since we did have some cases pretty much every day. And what we really wanted to know was the results of our PCR tests, which we did not have back at the time that we were supposed to be playing on Monday night. And we really wanted to get those results to know exactly what our situation was, but also, you know, thinking of the safety of the Whitecaps as well. So the reason it took a while for our team statement to come out is because, you know, we didn't have those test results. We also wanted, you know, to see what the directive from the league was at that point before we issued a team statement.
And just one follow-up if I can. So kind of when the tournament got shut down, there were 4 teams left and you were not one of the teams after withdrawing, but of course now you're back in it. And I'm curious just about like the timing of that and kind of when that all came about and how you found out about it.
So after the suspension of the tournament, the Board of Governors and the league were continuing to explore options to finish the season. I know a big goal for the league is to have the cup raised this season since we weren't able to do that last season. And when they were meeting and discussing, you know, how to proceed and who should be in the tournament, they decided that given the circumstances and the play that we had shown when we were in Lake Placid, that we had earned a spot to be competing for the semifinals. And we are happy to be in the semifinals and compete as we feel like we should be.
Did the team find out about that like in a group setting, or how was that sent out? I imagine it was a celebration.
I believe it was an email through our GM that let the team know. Shannon, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much, everybody. That's going to be it for our time today. I know it was fast and furious with all 4 of our teams in the time that we had, but we really appreciate everybody's participation. I apologize to anyone who had questions I was unable to get to, but your coverage of the National Women's Hockey League and the upcoming Isobel Cup playoffs is very much appreciated. I'll have more information to share for those of you that will be covering the games remotely in the days to come. But again, thank you for your time today, and for Laura and Shannon, best of luck on Friday in your semifinal. This will conclude today's call. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.